Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Quote of the day. If you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way. I am Dr. Lishpa Rasool Chandio and I will be presenting National Water Policy under the kind supervision of Professor Dr. Saira Afzal. Learning outlines, water concerns, objectives of the policy, strategic priorities and planning principle, conservation of water, drinking water and sanitation, water rights and obligations, sustainable water infrastructure, recent advances in MCQs. Learning outcome. At the end of the presentation, participants would be able to describe main water concerns, national water policy, water conservation, drinking water, and infrastructure. Pakistan's situation of water resources. Rapidly growing population leading Pakistan towards situation of water shortage and a threat of food insecurity. Per capita surface water availability has declined from 5,260 cubic meters per year in 1951 to around 1,000 cubic meters in 2016. This quantity is likely to further drop to about 860 cubic meters by 2025, marking our transition from a water-stressed to a water-scarce country. Minimum water requirement to avoid food and health implications of water scarcity is 1,000 cubic meters per capita per year. Specific issues concerning the water sector. Fresh water being a finite resource is progressively becoming more scarce due to persistent increases in its demand. Water scarcity can adversely affect the health and well-being of the people of Pakistan. The geographic location of Pakistan places the country in the heat surplus zone on Earth, putting it high on the vulnerability scale of climate change with considerable increase in frequency, extreme weather events, and erratic monsoon rains. The Indus Basin replacement works are approaching the end of their design lifespan due to situation requiring replacement storages. Different regions in the country are endowed differently with water in terms of precipitation, surface flow, and groundwater, and there is increased stress on sharing of water resources. Lack of equity in water allowances of various canal commands is causing water and salt imbalances at a regional level. Bulk of drinking water requirement is met by groundwater, which is depleting and its quality is deteriorating. The mandate and roles of the federal and provincial water related agencies needs to be reviewed in view of the 18th Amendment to the Constitution. Concentrated efforts are needed to reuse treated sewage water in order to reduce sweet water demand. There is lack of awareness amongst the general public about the impending threat of water scarcity and the huge wastage of sweet water. Excessive watering of crops is endemic with total disregard for efficiency and conservation. Desalination of seawater is a significant source of water. However, no effort has been made for desalination in the light of technology advances and international best practices. The National Water Policy. Introduction. The National Water Policy provides the guiding principles and broad policy direction for the water sector in Pakistan and deals with some related issues such as climate change threats. Pakistan is rapidly becoming a water-scarce country. The policy seeks to respond to this water crisis. It reaffirms the right of all citizens of Pakistan to equal and affordable access to clean drinking water and appropriate sanitation facilities. From 14th June to October 2022, floods in Pakistan killed 1,739 people and caused rupees 3.2 trillion of damage and rupees 3.3 trillion of economic losses. The immediate causes of the floods were heavier than usual monsoon rains and melting glaciers that followed a severe heat wave, both of which are linked to the climate change. It has become a national imperative to ensure water security for the people of Pakistan through a national water policy laying down the outlines of an integrated water management strategy that can optimize the economic, social, environmental returns on water resources, ensure equitable allocation among its competing demands, as well as its judicious use by the consumer, safe disposal of the post-use effluents. Objectives of the policy. The National Water Policy is based on the concept of integrated water resources management, primarily aimed at the following policy objectives: promoting sustainable consumption and production patterns throughout the water sector from exploitation to utilization, augmentation of the available resources of the country through judicious and equitable utilization via reservoir conservation, improving availability, reliability, quality of freshwater resources to meet critical municipal agriculture and environmental needs. Improving urban water management by increasing system efficiency through adequate investments to address drinking water demand, sewage disposal, handling of wastewater, and industrial effluents. Promoting behavioral change to reduce wastage of water by raising public awareness through media campaigns and incorporating water conservation lessons in curricula at primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. Hydropower development to increase the share of renewable energy, providing food security and expanding water availability to help adapt to climate change, population, and the large-scale stresses, treatment and possible reuse of wastewater, domestic, agricultural, and industrial, upgrading water sector information systems for improved asset management and to derived evidence and data-driven decision-making, improving watershed management through extensive soil conservation, catchment area treatment, preservation of forests, and increasing forest cover. Restoring and maintaining the health of the environment and water-related ecosystem, flood management to mitigate floods and minimize their damages, drought management with emphasis on long-term vulnerability reduction, security of the benefit streams of the water-related infrastructure for sustainable provision of services, promoting appropriate technologies for rainwater harvesting in rural as well as urban areas, regulating groundwater withdrawals for curbing over abstraction and promoting aquifer recharge. Adequate water pricing for irrigation and proper operation and maintenance of the irrigation system as well as other user sectors, promoting measures for long-term sustainability of the irrigation system, encouraging beneficiary participation in public-private partnerships, strengthening and capacity building of water sector institutions. Profitable use of flood water towards promotion of local irrigation practices, protection of wetlands for the prevention of wildlife, flora and fauna, stoppage of further seawater intrusion into Sindh, for the sustainability of the coastal environment, flora and fauna, and mangrove growth, including the use of skimming dug wells in coastal areas, enhancing water productivity through infrastructure development, and adoption of improved technologies in a sustainable manner. Climate change impact assessment and adaptation for the sustainable water resource development and management, promoting research on water resources related issues of national importance and building capacity, delineating roles and responsibilities of federal research institutions and promoting coordination among them, setting major national targets for the water sector, including those for water conservation, water storage, irrigation, water treatment, and drinking water. Secure Kacha areas and economy, preserve delta area by providing sufficient supplies regularly, rainwater management in plains where it cannot be disposed of or diverted to the sea. Strategic priorities and planning and principles. Several strategic initiatives have been identified that will be taken up at the federal and provincial level since they are of critical importance to the water, energy, and food security of Pakistan. They include conservation and efficiency. Conservation measures can be adopted for groundwater by regulating its extraction and use. Both conservation and efficiency must be highlighted for demand-side management of water resources. Storage. If the rainfall becomes more than average rain in 1 year and a drastic reduction in the next year's rainfall, the only way to conserve the surplus rainwater in wet years is to store it and release it in dry years when required. Expansion of water storage will expand irrigation and also increase the proportion of hydropower in the energy mix, reducing the need for thermal power. Leveraging technology, adoption of the new technologies is urgently needed for seawater utilization and water recycling, preparation of an inventory of water resources through remote sensing and other technologies, accurate monitoring of irrigation water delivery. Renewable energy. With appropriate policies and subsidies, a large percentage of tube wells in Pakistan can be converted to solar energy, especially in areas where water table is not very low to provide additional water at lower cost. Solar energy can also be used for daytime desalinization of seawater, particularly in the coastal areas of Balochistan. Integrated water resource management. The management of water resources is shifting from sectoral to a more integrated approach in different parts of the world under IWRM. The interests of all the stakeholders can be protected against mining and contamination. Watershed and catchment areas can be protected to prolong the life of water storage facilities. Comprehensive regulatory framework. Food security, water security, and energy security being inextricably linked, so the regulatory framework must address all the associated issues comprehensively, including groundwater contamination, waste treatment, open defecation, wash. Planning principle. The process of planning, development, and management of water resources at the federal and provincial level, including the development of this policy, will be guided by the following set of principles. One, equity and participatory decision-making. Water sector activities shall be participatory and consultative at each level. Access to affordable and safe drinking water is a fundamental human right of all citizens. Efficiency and conservation will be promoted at all levels. Environmental sustainability must be ensured. Water conservation. Conserve water, conserve life. Conservation of water. The criticality of fresh water for sustenance of human life, coupled with scarcity, warrants recognition of water conservation to be the highest national priority. In the choice of conservation technology, due care shall be exercised to select the most appropriate technology which has the proven record of performance, is the economically viable option, has the potential to generate multi-benefits, is environmental friendly. It is recognized that the large annual and seasonal variability of the freshwater availability makes it necessary to build large dams for system augmentation, which, with consensus of all the federating units, build small and medium dams for local and regional use, build check dams and delay action dams for recharge of aquifers and to reduce the flow velocities and erosion, recharge the underground aquifers during floods and surplus water flow periods for later use. The water conservation plans shall include reuse and recycling of municipal and industrial wastewater effluent for appropriate treatment at source, adoption of rainwater harvesting technology, adoption of water conservation technologies at the farm level, adoption of the technology for sustainable use of drainage water in agriculture, horticulture, and forestry subsectors. Residential indoor uses of water. Tips on water conservation. Use of water efficient flush toilet, find and repair leaks, take a quick shower, convert to water and energy saving resources, avoid wasting water as possible. Use an energy efficient washing machine. Clean sideways drives with a broom instead of a hose. Water plants during the coolest part of the day. Why it's important to conserve the water? To guard against rising costs and potential conflict, to prepare for future droughts, to make water available for recreational purposes, to strengthen the communities, and to preserve the environment. Drinking water and sanitation. Plans and initiatives shall be undertaken to provide access to clean and safe drinking water and sanitation facilities to the urban and rural population of the country. Full financial sustainability shall be aimed at for the urban water supply and sanitation system through effective reduction in wastewater theft and non-revenue water allocation. The rural water supply sanitation services shall be priced at an affordable rate. Under no circumstances shall the quality of drinking water, urban or rural, be allowed to fall below the specified standards. Each agency responsible for delivery of such services shall prepare quality promoting plans and shall be responsible for this rigorous enhancement. The sources of water surfaces as well as underground shall be diligently protected from contamination through enforcement of legislation for controlling water pollution in coordination with provinces. In remote area of the country, solar desalination of water shall be promoted to provide the community safe drinking water. The groundwater levels have dropped to alarming depths and are falling further, potential reaching the highly saline ancient seawater level in the coming few years. Alternative sources of surface water need to be urgently developed and adequate groundwater recharge ensured. Drinking water and sanitation plans will be adopted in line with the National Drinking Water and Sanitation Policies and Sustainable Development Goals. Water, sanitation, hygiene, wash, safe drinking water, sanitation and hygiene are crucial to human health and well-being. Safe wash is not only prerequisite to health, but contributes to livelihood, school attendances, dignity, and helps to create resilient communities living in healthy environments. Evidence suggests that improving surface levels towards safely managed drinking water sanitation, such as regulated piped water or connection to sewers with wastewater treatment, can dramatically improve health by reducing diarrheal disease deaths. Assessment of water and sanitation in healthcare facilities, water supply, hand hygiene, drinking water, sanitation, waste management, and cleanliness. The human right to water. Between 50 and 100 liters of water per person per day are needed to ensure most basic needs. The water source has to be within 1,000 meters from the home. Water cost should not exceed 3% of the household income. Collection time should not exceed 30 minutes. Water rights and obligations. All citizens of Pakistan have the right of equal and affordable access to clean drinking water and appropriate sanitation facilities. According to the Constitution, the provinces have jurisdiction over the rivers and are responsible for the maintenance of flood protection dikes, flood control, and drainage. However, due to inter-provincial irrigation network, the federal government will continue to oversee the overall management and distribution of river water amongst provinces through the IRSA, Indus River System Authority. All users of water, public or private, shall have the right to receive water of specified quality at their premises of use. The provincial government shall be responsible for the management of groundwater as per provincial government rules and regulations. Provinces are responsible for routine repair and maintenance of flood protection dikes. However, in case of major catastrophe like the 2010-2022 floods, the federal government will provide supplementary funds in addition to the 50% which the federal government has already agreed to provide. Sustainable water infrastructure. The water-related infrastructure must have physical and functional sustainability for its desired life. Provincial standards should be followed in the field of investigation, design, construction, specifications, and product quality, operational procedures, and maintenance provisions. This infrastructure will be so engineered, constructed, and operated that each component serves its design purpose with undue wastage of water. The value of sustainable water infrastructure. The key to implementing sustainable solution is evaluating and designing with efficient and reliable technologies while also leveraging the financial incentives that often standardize the most sustainable solutions. Using these principles, we can arrive at effective water infrastructure solutions that also enrich the local community. Sustainability approaches redefine cost to include lifestyle assessments of risk. Core elements of the water resources management provide raw material for domestic needs, support food security, consume water resources, control the destructive force of water, and climate change. Sustainable development for water infrastructure. Leadership, quality of life, natural world, risk and resilience, and resource allocation are the envisioned sustainability framework. Now, what is FIM? Sustainable Water Infrastructure Management? Build, renew, monitor, and control. We celebrate the World Water Day on March 2022. March 2020. Infographic data shine a light the way ahead for WASH acceleration. There are more data than ever before on WASH systems, and they give unprecedented clarity on how we can accelerate the progress. Funding for WASH is still insufficient. Over 75% of countries have insufficient funding to implement their WASH plans and strategies. Only 3% of countries with WASH and healthcare facilities policies have costed plans needed to implement them. 5.6% between 2017 and 2022, with more of it being directed towards drinking water than sanitation. 5 years into the race to the 2030 target, safe drinking water. 5 years into the race, in 2024, 1 in 4 people lack safely managed drinking water. In 2020, 7 million people gained access to safe drinking water at home. And by 2030, at this rate, 1.6 billion people will still lack safe drinking water at home. Now it's time for the recent updates. More crop per drop and water use efficiency in the national water policy of Pakistan. Pakistan's existential resilience on the Indus River Basin for water security is threatened by population growth, climate change, increasing intersectoral demands. Pakistan's National Water Policy of 2018 adopts more crop per drop as a key policy platform. Within the more crop per drop strategy, the National Water Policy mandates banning flood irrigation nationally and introducing high-efficiency irrigation systems to save water. The concept of water use efficiency and the impact of replacing flood irrigation on the basin-wide water are contested in the context of Pakistan. Research is lacking on how this aspect of more crop per drop strategy was included in the national policy on the evidence on which it is based. The paper addresses the gap in the literature by presenting the results of the Delphi study exploring the origins of the strategy. The study establishes that the irrigation efficiency paradigm is the dominant paradigm operating in the water bureaucracy. The farm scale focus of this paradigm does not account for the basin level rebound effect or the potential negative impact of the policy on water security. The study also finds that the government extension workers are key resources for the information for farmers considering the adoption of the policy. We caution the banning flood irrigation and reducing in the absence of an appropriate regulatory framework would worsen Pakistan water security rather than the safe irrigation water for the reallocation and foreshadow additional research to further explore the situation. Pakistan's water resource management, ensuring water security for the sustainable development. Pakistan is blessed with abundant water resources, but facing a critical water shortage due to lack of storage facilities, poor water governance, and the adverse impacts of the climate change. This research article argues that surface and subsurface water in Pakistan is depleting sharply and, if not addressed in time, has the potential of becoming the biggest national security problem. The policy recommendation highlights the effective integration of smart technology in addressing multidimensional water issues and efficient water governance for the ensuring water security for the sustainable development of Pakistan. Now we will proceed towards our MCQs. Question number 1. With rapidly growing population, Pakistan is heading towards a situation of water shortage. Per capita surface availability has declined from 5,260 cubic meters per year in 1951 to around 1,000 cubic meters in 2016. This quantity is likely to further drop to about 860 cubic meters by 2025. What is the minimum water requirement to avoid food and health implications of the water scarcities? A. 1,000 cubic per meter per capita per year. B. 2,000 cubic meters per capita per year. Is it C. 3,000 cubic meters per capita per year? D. 1,500 cubic, or is it 2,500 cubic meters per capita per year?
B.
Yes, D is the right answer. A is the right answer. The objective of the national water policy is to take cognizance of the emerging water crisis and provide an overall policy framework and guidelines for a comprehensive plan of action. It is based on the concept of integrated water resource management, Indus water management, C, water and sanitation management, D, integrated water management, or is it E, water reserving management?
D.
It's A, integrated water resource management. Continuous increase in population growth and rapid urbanization has pushed Pakistan into category of stressed countries. Which of the following is not the concern related to water sector? A, the dams approaching the end of design lifespan. B, depletion of groundwater and deterioration of its quality. C, no effort being made for the desalination of drinking water. D, lack of poor coordination, condition of the tube wells all over the country. E, climate change.
C.
It's D, lack or poor condition of tube wells all over the country. The National Water Policy lays down a broad policy framework and set of principles for water security on the basis of which the provincial governments can formulate their respective master plans and projects for water conservation, water development, and water management. Which of the following is not the objective of the National Water Policy? A, improving availability, reliability, and quality of freshwater resources. B, rainwater and flood management. C, hydropower development. D, security, coastal areas of Pakistan. E, reuse of wastewater. It's D, securing coastal areas of Pakistan. Economic water scarcity is caused by lack of investment in the infrastructure or technology to draw water from rivers and other water sources or insufficient human capacity to satisfy the demand for water. The National Water Policy can provide a major response to the emerging water crisis if it receives high-level political support. It provides a set of agreed national targets for the water resource management. It leads to a sustained provincial commitment to increase public and private resources for the water sector. It creates an institutional framework that can address present deficiencies. It receives support from the neighboring countries. It's C. To make better climate change mitigation is action to limit climate change. Which of the following is the most important instrument for mitigation against the impact of climate change on water resources? Extraction and use of groundwater, storage of surplus rainwater, desalination of rainwater, reuse of wastewater, reuse of rainwater.
C.
It's B, storage. It's B. Pakistan is rapidly becoming a water-scarce country. The policy seeks to respond to this water crisis. The National Water Policy highlighted water rights and obligations. Which of the following is not true regarding it? The provincial government is responsible for the maintenance of flood protection dikes, flood control, and
D.
yes, it's D. Federal government is responsible for routine repair and maintenance of flood protection dikes, flood fighting, and drainage. The criticality of fresh water for human life, along with scarcity, necessities, recognition of water conservation to be the highest national priority. The water conservation can be all of the following except Building of large dams for system augmentation, recharge of underground aquifers during surplus water flow. C, provision of
D.
it's D. Water conservation is the practice of using water efficiently to reduce unnecessary water usage. Which of the following is an effective way of conserving water? Increase food waste. B, eat less meat. C, turning off taps. D, boiling of drinking water. E, washing clothes less.
D.
It's B. Water is essential for every human being for the survival and daily activities. How much liters of water is required per person per day to meet the basic activities? A, 20.
A.
It's C. This is the key of the MCQs. Thank you everyone for your patient listening. And this is the link of our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tishba. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.